You know that feeling, right? You spent ages learning English. You know the grammar, you've got the vocabulary down. But then you turn on a movie or maybe listen to the news or just chat with someone.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's like, whoosh. It all goes by so fast. You catch maybe one word, then it's gone.
Oh, absolutely. You're left thinking, wait, what did they just say? It's super common.
Exactly.
And it actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, native speakers, we naturally squish words together. Sometimes sounds disappear.
Right.
And the speed can just feel, well, overwhelming. The words you learn suddenly sound different.
Yeah, completely different. But okay, the good news is that feeling, totally normal.
Definitely normal.
And it's something you can actually get better at. It's a skill.
It really is.
And that's what we're going to dig into today. We found some really practical, like beginner-friendly tips for dealing with that fast native English.
Think of it as a shortcut, maybe, to boosting those listening skills.
Yeah, exactly.
A shortcut. And our main source for this deep dive is a great YouTube video. It's from English in Comfort. Yeah, they're really good. Very learner-focused, lots of step-by-step stuff. So we've got 10 key tips from them to go through.
10 tips. Okay, let's jump in. Tip number 1 sounds maybe obvious, but apparently really effective using subtitles.
Yeah, subtitles. It sounds simple, but reading along while you listen, it's like a safety net.
A safety net? How so?
Well, when everything's blurring together at speed, your eyes can pick out the individual words. Especially those, small but important words.
Like the or is or at, the ones that get kind of swallowed.
Exactly. Those connectors. Plus, it does more than just help you catch words you missed.
Right. It helps connect the sound to the spelling in your head, doesn't it?
Precisely. You hear gonna, maybe, but you see going to. That link gets reinforced. Your brain connects the dots.
So you're using your eyes and ears together. Makes sense.
It does. It's a solid learning principle, really, using multiple senses. But a small warning, auto-generated subtitles. They can be a bit dodgy sometimes.
Yeah, like there versus there.
Exactly that kind of thing. So the video suggests looking for stuff with proper human-made captions, like news channels often have good ones, or language learning channels.
Got it. Good tip. And they have a practice idea for this too, right?
Yeah, a really practical one. Find a short video, like 1 minute, with good subtitles.
Okay.
Watch it once, reading along.
Yeah.
Then watch it again, subtitles off. Really try to hear the words you just saw.
Okay, focus on listening.
Right. Maybe jot down words you saw but couldn't quite catch just by listening. Then play those tricky parts again with the subtitles, focusing in until your ear starts to recognize the sound without the visual cue.
So you're actively training your ear.
You got it. And, the ultimate goal is to not need them eventually.
Like training wheels on a bike.
Exactly. Great analogy. Use them for support, build confidence, then eventually take them off.
Okay, cool. So tip number 2. This one's about something we can control. Playback speed.
Yes, the slow down button. Most players have it now, right? 0.8x speed, 0.9x.
Yeah, but the source mentions it can feel a bit weird at first.
It definitely can. Voices sound stretched, the rhythm's off. It's strange initially.
But that's kind of the point.
That's exactly the point. That slight slowdown gives your ears, your brain, just that little bit more time to process.
To catch the individual sounds.
Yeah, and the patterns, things that just blur together at full speed, suddenly become clearer. It's like watching a dancer in slow motion. You can actually see the steps.
Okay, I get that. And you can even use this with subtitles at first.
Good idea, yeah. Combine tip 1 and 2. See the words slowly as you hear them slowly.
So your brain learns the patterns at a slower pace. And then it's easier to recognize them when things speed back up.
That's the idea. You're building up your listening muscle, as the video calls it.
Listening muscle. I like that. So how do you practice this one?
Try like a 1 or 2 minute clip. Play it first at 0.8x. Just listen for the main idea. Don't stop it.
Okay, just get the gist.
Then play it again at normal speed, 1x. See how much more you catch the second time.
And notice specific things.
Yeah, try and pinpoint something. Like, was there a word or a phrase you totally missed at 1x but clearly heard at 0.8x?
They had an example, didn't they? Something about greenhouse gases.
That's the one. At normal speed, maybe it just sounds like mumble. But at 0.8x, greenhouse gases, clear as day.
And that little win feels good.
It really does. Super motivating. So, yeah, try it for a few minutes daily, maybe with different kinds of topics to get your ear used to variety.
Okay, makes sense. Moving on then. Tip 3 is about focusing on keywords.
Yes, keywords. Really crucial in fast speech.
So what counts as a keyword here?
Basically, the words that carry the main meaning, usually your nouns, your main verbs, sometimes strong adjectives or adverbs. Question words, too, like what, where, why.
And why do they stand out?
It's interesting. Speakers naturally tend to stress them a bit more.
Oh, right.
Make them slightly louder, maybe hold them a fraction longer. Sometimes there's even a tiny pause just before or after.
So even if the little grammar words get squished, these keywords act like anchors.
Exactly. Anchors is a good word. Like in I love chocolate. Even if I and chocolate are quick, love probably gets a bit more punch.
Or that movie was really funny. The really stands out.
Precisely. So the trick is to train your ear to latch on to these stressed words.
How do we practice that?
Well, the video gives us some sentences. Let's try one. You tell me the key words. They canceled the flight because of heavy fog this morning.
Okay, I'd say canceled, flight, heavy fog, and morning.
Perfect. See? Just from those, you get the main story.
Yeah.
No flight, bad fog, today.
Yeah, you get it.
And notice, because of might shrink down, sound more like cause of. That's a reduction. We'll get to those.
Ah, okay.
Ready for another? The teacher announced a pop quiz after lunch. Students looked surprised, but she said it would only cover chapters 1 and 2.
Right, let's see. Teacher announced pop quiz definitely, then students, surprised, cover, and chapters 1 and 2.
Excellent. You nailed the core info again. Teacher, quiz, students' reaction, the specific material. Focusing on these helps cut through the noise.
So listen for the stress.
Listen for the stress.
Yeah.
And a good way to practice this yourself is actually record yourself saying something, then listen back. Which words did you naturally emphasize?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Tip 4 then. Decoding reductions. This feels like a big one for fast speech.
Oh, it's huge. Reductions are everywhere in spoken English.
Oh.
Just shorting words, squishing them together.
Like the classic wanna for want to.
Exactly. Or gonna for going to. Those are prime examples.
And the source had a whole list, right?
Yeah, a really helpful list. Let's see. Wanna, want to, gonna, going to, gotta, got to, or have to.
Did you?
Did you? Yeah. Could have, shoulda, woulda.
Let me,
gimme, kaftiganda, sort of.
Dunno.
And because. It's a lot.
Wow. Yeah. And they all just blend together.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
They flow so smoothly it can sound like one long, weird word if you're not used to them.
So getting familiar helps you mentally unpack them.
Exactly. You hear the reduced form, your brain goes, that means this. Let's try it. I'll give you a reduced sentence, you give me the full one. Ready?
Okay, shoot.
You grab some coffee.
Now I'm going to grab some coffee.
Nice. Did you see that movie last night?
Did you see that movie last night?
She kind of likes sushi.
She kind of likes sushi.
Let me know if you need help.
Let me know if you need help. Okay, I'm getting the hang of this.
Good. Your turn. You give me the full sentence, I'll reduce it.
All right. I want to go home.
I want to go home.
You have to finish your homework.
You got to finish your homework.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have to finish, depending on the person.
What? Okay. I not know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
Cool. This back and forth is actually really helpful.
It is, right. It solidifies that connection. So for practice, listen to stuff. Try to spot reductions, write them down, write the full version, say both out loud. Try them in questions and negatives too.
Got it. Okay, tip 5. Understanding chunks. What are these chunks?
Chunks are just groups of words that stick together and act like one unit.
Like phrases.
Exactly, like phrasal verbs look forward to, or idioms break the ice, or even just common combos like at the end of the day, kind of like, you know what I mean?
Right. And why are they important for listening to fast talkers?
Because native speakers usually don't pause between the words inside a chunk. It all flows together.
So if you recognize the whole chunk...
You process it much faster than trying to figure out each little word. They're like ready-made meaning blocks.
Okay. The source gave some examples. At the end of the day, meaning ultimately.
Right. At the end of the day, it's about practice.
Kind of like for similarity. Learning this is kind of like riding a bike.
Look forward to, meaning anticipating pleasure. I look forward to our chat.
And on the other hand, for contrast, reading helps, but on the other hand, you need to speak too.
Exactly. So the practice idea is, hear a possible chunk, pause, say the chunk out loud. Check the meaning if you need to.
Write it down, maybe?
Yeah, write it down with an example sentence, then practice using it yourself. Build up your own chunk library.
Chunk library. Nice. Okay, tip 6 gets into something interesting. The music of English. Rhythm and intonation.
Yes, this is so important. English isn't flat like a robot speaking.
Right. Some bits are longer, some shorter.
Exactly. Syllables get stretched or clipped, and the pitch, the up and down of your voice that tells you if it's a question, a statement, someone's mood.
It carries a lot of meaning beyond the words.
A huge amount. And the video says trying to copy that melody actually helps lock the comprehension into your ear and your mouth.
Ooh, I like that. Locks it in. So how do we practice this music?
Okay, take a simple question. Are you coming with us? Say it slowly, deliberately. Notice how the pitch might rise a bit on you and with us, then maybe dip at the end. Are you coming with us?
Uh-huh. I hear that.
Now imagine it faster, more casual. Are ya coming with us?
You becomes ya.
Right, it reduces. The rhythm is quicker. But that basic up and down shape, that melody, it's often still there.
So the melody provides a kind of structure even when it's fast.
Exactly. It helps you follow along. Here's another. I was thinking we could grab lunch around noon. Does that work for you?
Okay, standard way.
Now faster. I was thinking we could grab lunch around noon. Does that work for you?
Yeah, definitely quicker, more clipped.
So the practice. Record yourself saying sentences both ways, slow and clear, then fast and natural. Listen back. Compare your pitch changes, your rhythm, to how a native speaker might sound.
Comparing your own voice? That's a good exercise.
Yeah, doing it with short dialogues is great.
Okay. Tip 7. This is one we hear a lot. Immersion. Just surround yourself with English.
Absolutely. It's classic advice for a reason. Just having English audio around you as much as possible.
Like background noise.
Kind of. Like a background soundscape for your brain. The more your ear just hears English, the sounds, the rhythms, the intonation, the more it starts to tune in naturally, even when you're not actively trying.
So listening to podcasts while cooking.
Yep. Or radio while doing chores, having the TV on.
Yeah.
Even if you're only half listening.
And mix it up, right? Different types of English.
Definitely. News, interviews, casual chats, different accents, that variety is key.
The source mentions someone listening to a tech podcast.
Yeah, just passively while washing dishes or whatever. And later they realized they were understanding technical terms they hadn't consciously learned. Their brain just absorbed it.
Wow. Osmosis.
Pretty much. So the suggestion is maybe make a playlist. Stuff you like, maybe one new thing. Aim for like 30 minutes a day of just background English. No pressure to understand everything.
Maybe it'll wash over you.
Exactly. Get your ear used to the sound of English.
Cool. Tip 8 builds on this. The difference between active and passive listening.
Yeah, really useful distinction. Active listening is when you're really concentrating.
Focused. Notes. Maybe rewinding.
Right. Try to catch every detail. Passive listening is that background stuff we just talked about. Audio's on, but you're doing something else, driving, cleaning, whatever. You're absorbing the general flow, not sweating the details.
The video had a good analogy. Active is like a gym workout. Passive is like wearing a fitness tracker.
That's a great way to put it. Active listening is focused effort, building specific skills. Passive is still beneficial exposure, but less intense.
So how do you practice active listening effectively?
Short bursts are best, like take a 1-2 minute clip. Maybe use a transcript or subtitles. Listen closely. Note down words or chunks you don't know. Replay tricky bits.
What are the benefits of that?
Precision, vocabulary building, pronunciation details. But it's tiring, right? You can't do it for hours.
Right. That's where passive comes in.
Exactly. Switch to a podcast during your commute, put the radio on, watch a show with subs off. You're soaking up rhythms, reductions, chunks without the mental strain.
So the advice is to do both.
Ideally, yes. Maybe 15-20 minutes of focused active listening. Pick out a couple of new things to learn. Then maybe 20-30 minutes of passive listening later on.
Makes sense. A mix.
And you know you're making progress when you're listening passively and suddenly you hear a word or phrase you learned during an active session.
That's a good sign. The connection's been made.
Exactly. It's starting to stick.
Okay. Tip number 9. Mix up accents and contexts.
Yeah, and this is specifically about listening comprehension, not about you needing to speak in different accents.
Got it. Just training your ear.
Right. Because if you only ever listen to, say, standard American English, then the first time you hear someone with a strong British or Australian accent, it can feel like hitting a wall. Your ear isn't tuned for it.
So deliberately listen to different accents.
Yeah, even just 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Find an American news clip, then maybe a British travel vlog, then an Australian interview. Mix it up.
And different contexts, too.
Yes. Listen to formal news reports, but also casual chats between friends. Listen to talk shows, documentaries.
Because the speed and vocabulary will be different.
Totally different. Think about tech news versus a cooking show, or a formal lecture versus friends joking around. Different pace, different words, different tone, and different accents handle sounds differently. Two dropped sounds, vowel lengths.
So it's not about mastering every accent.
Not at all. Just getting your ear comfortable with variety, more adaptable.
So you're less thrown off when you hear someone new.
Exactly. It builds confidence.
Yeah.
And hey, it's fine if you want to focus on one main accent for your own speaking.
Right.
But sprinkling in exposure to others for listening, really beneficial.
Okay, makes sense. Last tip, number 10. Predicting what you'll hear. This sounds clever.
It is quite clever. It's about being proactive.
How does that work? Predicting.
Use everything you have, the topic, what's already been said, the speaker's tone, the general situation, to make an educated guess about what word or phrase might come next. You're basically priming your ear.
Okay. Like if you hear, she wants to.
Yeah, you can probably guess the next word is a verb, right? Eat, sleep, go, talk, depending on context.
Or after work, I'm meeting.
You'd predict friends, maybe my boss, a client, something plausible.
And it's okay if you guess wrong.
Totally okay. The act of trying to predict keeps your brain engaged and slightly ahead of the speaker. It reduces the surprise factor of fast speech.
So you're not just passively receiving words, you're anticipating them.
Exactly. You're often just confirming what you half expected to hear rather than processing every single word from scratch at high speed.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Takes some pressure off.
It really can. It makes listening feel more like a collaboration.
Wow, okay. That's 10 really solid tips, just to run through them quickly again. Subtitles as a tool.
Slowing down the audio.
Focusing on keywords.
Decoding reductions.
Understanding chunks.
Tuning into the rhythm and intonation.
Immersion.
Active versus passive listening.
Mixing up accents and context.
And predicting what's next.
Pew. That's a lot. But like you said, you don't need to do them all at once.
Definitely not. The English and Comfort folks really stress just picking one or two that, feel right for you.
Maybe you really like the idea of playing with the speed control.
Or maybe focusing hard on spotting keywords feels more doable.
Or trying to mimic the rhythm sounds fun.
Yep.
Just experiment.
Exactly. So maybe a question for you listening is, which one of these tips jumps out at you? What are you going to try first?
Yeah, what feels like the best starting point for your own journey? Because it is a journey, right? Understanding fast English doesn't happen overnight.
It's all about those small, consistent steps.
Yeah.
Little improvements add up.
Definitely. So maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Yeah.
Think about how just really focusing on one of these techniques, even for just a little bit each day, might start to unlock more understanding in all the English you hear around you.
Good point. It's about finding what works and seeing where it takes you. Keep listening. Keep experimenting.